Museum of College Life, and we're here for one of our collection tours. And today we're going to be looking at our archaeology case. As you can see, I've opened the doors already, and we're going to take a little glimpse at our quite small but beautiful little collection. And I'm going to try and work through a little bit of a timeline to help you out, and we're going to look at these finds, which are all from the local area and from Cornwall. And so come on in and we'll have a little closer look. We're going to begin by looking at some of our stone tools. And if I show you over here, we've got a collection of work stone tools. Now we're going to start up here in the top shelf, and we've got some work stone tools, and these are Mesolithic and Neolithic. But if we come over, I've got out on the table some pieces you can see a little bit clearer. So here we have some flints, and you can see how they work to give the shape. And when people say worked, what they mean is effectively you chip bits off and you shape it. And you can see where they're cut off. I always think they look a bit like hard blocks of butter. And you can see how this would have given you a really good useful tool. And we've got another one here, which is heavier. This one's heavier, a lot heavier than that one. And again, you can see the strike marks, taking bits off, to again give you a useful tool. Because obviously stone would have been one of those amazing assets to help you. And the little flakes when they were working were not wasted. And down here we've got some really beautiful flint arrowheads. And if I show you my hand, you can kind of get an impression of the size of them. That's kind of from my finger down to my knuckle. And you can see the little serrated edge, and then you can see the arrowhead here. We'll just pause a second for you to see. And these are always beautiful, and they're always quite amazingly sharp, even after all this time. And you can see how they'd been really effective for using as arrowheads and for hunting, because when we're talking about the Stone Age and the Neolithic and all these words that get put around, we're obviously talking about a time where people are not living in fixed places, and they're moving around, and they're quite at one with the land and their environment, and looking for opportunities where they can get food and how they can hunt and when they can pick berries. And then what I want to show you over here is you can see we've got some stone tools here in the case, and you can see up in the back an illustration of sort of Neolithic greenstone axe head, which they've sort of put onto a bit of wood. And the thing to remember is, even though people were sort of living in a more mobile fashion, there was also the beginning with trades with people in other parts of Britain, and you can find pottery bowls made in Cornwall, found in Dorset and Wiltshire. So we can see these axe heads here, and if I show you the size of them, you can see they fit really nicely into your hand. And that's why sometimes I think they're called hand axes as well. It's also about obviously you pick them up and use them, and there's a good weight to them. And this is made of greenstone, which is a particular type of stone found down here in Cornwall. There we go. Now the next bit I want to show you, really, we're going to jump a little bit of time and jump thinking about technology. And we're going to look at some items from the Bronze Age, but obviously people still bring things with them, so they don't just get rid of stuff. So even though here we're looking at the Bronze Age, we've got a little flint arrowhead here. You can see how beautifully shaped it is. And we've also got more little flints here. But then what we have here is obviously technology's moving on a little bit here. So I'm going to lift this out for you to get a better look. Here we go. And this is an early Bronze Age flanged bronze flat axe, and that was found at Presands. I'm going to pick it up. Oh, it's heavy. And when you do archaeology, I studied archaeology, and some identifications were very difficult, but An axe head is quite an easy one because it looks like an axe head. Now what I want to show you is down here is a picture of one of the sites we've got stuff from, and this is Gate, and there was evidence of a settlement there from the Bronze Age that was abandoned, and then it was occupied again in the Iron Age, so that's sort of 500 BC-ish, and then again through in the medieval times. So you can see the drawings of people are getting into houses really here. We've got an illustration shows pots, and we've got a beautiful pot here. And this was found there, and you can see that people are also not just thinking at this time of function. They've decorated this, so you can see the lines in it, which have been beautifully applied, and the little triangle shapes. And we also have down here some more shards. And again, you can see this patterning, and you can imagine people pressing in to make these marks and these indentations. And you can even see at this time, fashion still exists because you get designs that people like. And I always find it amazing to think of someone actually doing this, and that's someone's hand, you know, and it gives you a closer connection, I think, to the past when you can see these marks and think how proud somebody would have been to make these. Now, we're going to jump up onto the shelf here to look at some pieces from an excavation in St Keverne. And in these photographs here, you can see some of the excavations showing parts of an oven in the building. They can be quite hard to read, archaeology. You've got to end up being quite a good detective. And in here we can see some pieces of pottery. And these were vessels, they think, used to get salt. So you put seawater in, seawater evaporates, and we're over this way, and it goes away. And you can see sort of indentations. I don't know if the camera will pick it up in here. You can see indentations of little finger marks within these. And again, down in this shelf, we've got some more from Gate. And what I also wanted to show you, when you think about this, it can feel like life isn't very colourful, but I think those illustrations are good. But also I wanted to show these beautiful glass beads. So these 3 little small glass beads, let me see if I can get them in the light for you. Were found. Absolutely beautiful. This colour is amazing. And they were found in a hut in Gate in 1958. And I tell you, if ever you have done any volunteering or work in archaeological sites, you would have been thrilled, because when you're digging in the mud, these things zing out at you, and you cannot quite believe what you see. Now I want to show you some more finds from another site here. So this was from we're now moving forward in time, and we're coming up to the Roman period. And this is from a farm villa. So we've got coins. You start to get money at this point in time, and over here we've got some nails. Hope you can see this. I might pick one of these up because it can be hard to see because we're seeing through glass shelves. And the nails look like nails, which I know sounds a bit of a stupid thing to see, but it always surprises me when you can start to recognise things. And then we've got a piece of Samian pottery, which is the classic Roman pottery. And again, you can see the little design on here. And what interests me with this bit, if anyone's really interested in museum work, you can see why we always take great care to look after our collection, because you can see at some point, someone's obviously put a sticker on this and it's come off. And you can see we've got a mark that's left. So we always have to be really careful. And sometimes you'll see in some of the archaeology pieces little bits of writing. And when we're marking up archaeological finds, we use pens that don't leave any permanent damage. And this has just got a number on it so that we know where this comes from and we can join it up to our system. So if you're ever looking in cases in museums, you'll see these old numbers. And that helps us know what we've got. Now, I want to drop down to the next shelf as well to show you this from the villa. And these are part of the drains. So when we think about the Roman time, we do think about sort of the introduction of roads, more services in houses, and I always think drains are one of the things I think of when I think of the Romans. And this actually is made of sandstone, and it comes from Godrevy. And I tell you, how I've moved it, it is extremely heavy. And thinking about beads, always been important. I wanted to show you some more as well from the site, and we've got some beautiful beads here. Now if I move these, little bits of beads and little bits, they look like carnelian, the orange to me, and these beautiful, they're absolutely minuscule, and you can imagine someone having them on a necklace. And our archaeological collection also comes up a little bit further in time. So we have these sort of earlier periods, but we also have a really lovely collection of clay pipes. So I'm going to show you them down here. And these were found in 1970. And they made the papers when they were found. It was like workmen dig up old pipe kiln. And these were found in a new building at the Helston Garages. And you can see here we've got clay pipes, and clay pipes were really popular and were used a lot. And we can see the designs here. And you can see how they've been fused in here. Now, that was a really quick look around our collection. And what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to use some of these as inspiration for making your own archaeology kit. So we hope to see you then, and we also hope to share with you more from this wonderful collection we've got. Thank you so much.